Okay, welcome again to Let's Talk Chemistry with Pastor Dave. We're going to show you some labs today, types of reaction labs. So here's the lab. Maybe if I get a chance, I can come out. We're looking at synthesis, decomposition, single placement, double placement lab. So you can either download this or you can copy it down. There are 4 pre-lab questions. Reaction, we're not looking today. We're not looking at combustion. What presence of carbonate determined? If we look at the decomposition reaction, we're going to do a flame wood splint test, and that's going to cause the carbon dioxide, cause it to go out. Acid used, hydrochloric acid is used in this lab. The 2 metals we're using copper wire, and we're going to use magnesium. So that is a pre-lab questions. So we're going to identify what happens in each of these processes, and then we're going to identify the reactions and balance them up. One question talks about the flame test and what does that identify. Then occlusion, what did you learn and how do you identify that? All right, so let's look at these. So first we're going to heat the copper. So let's take a look at this one. I did this when students were, so we're going to take the copper. There's shiny copper. And we're going to put it inside of the flame here, right there. And in the top of the flame, there's a little plastic on it. Plastic burns off right there, and then we're going to keep it inside of there until it glows orange hot. Now, once we take it away, you'll notice it's black. What happened is it reacted with the oxygen to form that copper 2 oxide. So that's the first one. Now, for the second one, it said copper 2 carbonate. At this point, I didn't have it, so I used magnesium carbonate. Same process. So we're going to take our magnesium carbonate, acts the same as a copper 2 carbonate. The only difference is that the copper 2 carbonate's green. This one's white. Copper 2 carbonate turns black. We're going to light this one up. It's forming carbon dioxide. You see it's starting to burn there. And when it goes inside, what happens to the flame? Inside, goes inside. There you go. And you know the flame goes out. Now, when it comes back out, because it has enough oxygen, it reburns. The carbon dioxide puts it out. That's the reaction there. All right, third one. We have, that one's on sideways too. Sorry about that. All right, so we're going to put, all right, we're going to add a syringe of hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid is a reactive acid. Single replacement, we're going to form hydrogen gas. We're going to seal up hydrogen lighter than air gas. We can't turn that over. We're going to take a wood splint. I'm going to put it underneath there. Now, when I do that, that hydrogen is going to react with the oxygen. You hear that little pop there. That shows the presence of hydrogen gas formed. All right. And then double replacement reaction. This one's also a little sideways. Sorry about that. All right. So we have our copper 2 sulfate. That's a blue solution. We have sodium hydroxide. Both of those are clear. We're going to take and pour them into each other. Coming around here. When you do, you'll notice little crystals right there. Okay, those crystals are called precipitate. When a crystal forms in solution, we call that a precipitate. That's copper 2 hydroxide that's generate. That's a double replacement reaction. All right, now let's talk again about the scriptures and let's move on to take on the helmet of salvation. Why is the helmet of salvation so important? Because before, like I said before, Satan hates you and he comes after you constantly and he attacks your mind. The battlefield is in your mind. If he can beat you down, if he can get you to doubt God, doubt God's love for you, doubt God's word in your life, then he has the victory. So it's about identifying that our salvation is set on nothing else except for Jesus. It's not Jesus and, it's not Jesus or, it's not Jesus with, it's Jesus. Jesus is our salvation. Now, I do believe in the certainty and confidence in the saved, but I do also understand that we need to work that out. Paul calls that out, working your salvation with fear and trembling. Make sure that we don't take it for granted, because if you take it for granted, then you're really not in the family. You understand that when you're in the family, you're in the family. I'm Italian, part of the family. But the family of God requires you to identify and recognize that and make that part of your life. Salvation is a gift from God to us, which allows us to stand firm in the face of all attacks. But we need to make sure that we remember Him, focus on Him, and make Him a deep passion in our lives. Not something that we add, but something that we are every day of our life, every aspect of our life, and every way of our life. So the helmet of salvation keeps our mind focused on Him, His word, His love, His truth, His way. And that's what makes it happen. All right, hopefully that wasn't too bad. Take care. God bless.